If you don't have any accountability, that's why you're all over the place. If you don't have any accountability, that's why you're not finding success in your journey that you're taking when it comes to your business. If you don't have accountability, you'll never know what kind of changes you have to make in order to achieve the goal that you're going after.
I think many business owners or many entrepreneurs can relate to this, is the mistakes that we've done.
Ooh, man.
You know, let's go get a little bit personal, because mistakes are mistakes. We have to learn from them. If you don't, that's why you keep on making the same mistake.
We believe in business. It's not always going to be like it's gonna look like the stock graphs, okay? We're going to look like the freaking New York Stock Exchange. We're going to look up and down, up and down. Might have some highs and have some lows. And this is the thing. These are I believe some of the top mistakes we do when we start business. And this is just from our personal experience. I know you have your agency. I have my online store. And this is one of the things that we've learned. One of the mistakes that many people make, and actually very common for many of you guys, it might be this. Number one is you don't have a business plan.
Come on, guys.
Come on. Like the Bible says, when there is no vision, the people go crazy.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. If you don't even have vision for your business, the thing that you feel is going to make generational changes for your family, what makes you think anything's going to happen?
You know, one of the problems that happens whenever you don't have a business plan is you're putting so much effort for no reason. You're putting so much work, putting so much energy into something you don't even know where it's going to go. And so that's why it's important to have like a business plan. You have a plan of action. You have a plan of direction. You know where you're trying to get to. You know what you're trying to do. And when you don't, what are you doing? You're just wasting your time.
Exactly. Like, for example, one of the things I did when I was starting, I made sure to have a plan. Okay, how am I going to promote my online business? All right. I don't have a physical store. I can't be mailing out mailers or like I can go knocking on doors, but you know how many thousands of people, if I want 1,000 people to visit my store, I have to knock on 1,000 doors. And some of these people won't even open, right? So what I had to do is I had to put a plan in place to market and how to market and where to market. And that starts by me first by putting that plan in place, because I know if I want this to be something that not only becomes a side hustle, but becomes a full-time thing, or if I want this business to go to the next level, I have to, before I even start building, is have a business plan.
And I think whenever you do have one, like the people around you will change. Like they'll be more energized, more ready for like the next day, because they know what they're looking forward to.
They know what they're building towards.
Yeah, and they feel like they have a purpose in the role that they're in. And whenever there is like no vision, I mean, you can't expect them to know where you're trying to go if you don't even know where
you
you're trying to
can't.
go.
Like, if you have employees right now and you started off without a business plan, I want to tell you right now, the reason why you're having a hard time is because they're in a place where there is no vision.
Yeah.
They don't know. They're just showing up and don't feel like there's any purpose being served. And that's one thing you have to understand, that you have to start with the right building blocks and make sure that, hey, the reason I'm building this is because I want to get to this place. The reason and the way it's going to happen is by doing this, and this. And what this business plan does, it holds you accountable. Like, if you don't have any accountability, that's why you're all over the place. If you don't have any accountability, that's why you're not finding success in your journey that you're taking when it comes to your business. If you don't have accountability, you'll never know when you have to you'll never know what kind of changes you have to make in order to achieve the goal that you're going after. And that's what the business plan shows you. It's like, if you're gonna hit 10K, okay, and you start working on that plan, you know you have to hit 10K. If you know right now it ain't taking you there because of the plan you put in place, it helps you, gives you the opportunity to revise. But it starts with you first having that plan down.
Yeah. And I think whenever you start, at least, and you have like a good plan down, you have a good foundation, you start receiving revenue coming in. One another mistake that people start to make, as soon as they start receiving profit, they just hog it to themselves back, to where nothing is getting put back into the business. To where many business owners, as soon as they start receiving money coming back in, they're like, yes, I made it. Now, and they're just keeping it to themselves and not really putting back into the business.
Because I know you have to pay bills, but the thing is this is your baby.
Yeah.
A baby needs food. Before this business baby becomes a big adult, before it becomes an oiled machine, before it becomes a corporation or whatever you're trying to do, you need to nurture it. The Bible tells us to cultivate. It tells us to, when it comes to our gifts, that we have to let the Holy Spirit help us cultivate these gifts that we receive. In the same sense, that same principle of cultivating. What is cultivating? Hey, I have to work on this. I have to put it back. Like, I earned these $1,000. I can go blow them on some shoes. I can go blow these $1,000 I just made from my business. Or, hey, you know what? The $1,000 that I got right now with the little I started, what if I put that back into the business? How much more will I make? And it's not even about getting greedy here. It's like, this is how a business grows. You need those funds to be reinvested. You need to, maybe you have a machine right now to print your shirts, right? But hey, and you're starting off with your shirts. But if you want to do 1,000 shirts, maybe you might have to go to a local print shop, and you can now have that. Now that you have that capital, you can reinvest in it, and you'll make even more profits.
Yeah, and I think that's what, like, a lot of business owners, why they're still in the same position of square one. It's like, let's just give that example of, like, I have my own machine. I'm making my own money already. Well, why would you limit yourself? I know you probably started it to pay your bills, but why would you limit yourself there? Why don't you build it up to where maybe you can now start hiring someone to do that, and you can now start building something else that maybe God has called you to do, to where now the timing that you would spend on you printing your shirts on your own starts scaling.
Like, you can actually start focusing on more designs, for example,
Yeah.
or getting more creative, or looking at new strategy. You can give times to developing more strategy, because you're hands on, but the thing is now you're opening up more space and time for yourself to be able to get creative and have ideas on how to take now the business to the next level. So that's one thing I believe it's important to constantly put back into your business.
And whenever, like, let's just say you start receiving money coming in, as soon as you start your business, you're starting receiving revenue. You're starting to receive revenue. Then it comes to a point, which is another mistake a lot of business owners make. They start transitioning too soon. I think one of the most important things is to know whenever you make that transition. You already plan beforehand when I need to transition.
Mm-hmm. And this is the thing. You got to say, okay, I make right now 4K with my job. I make 3K or 2K, whatever, how many Ks you got, right? Or maybe just a couple hundred, right? No, we don't judge here. But the thing is this, you got to understand that if you're going to make this side hustle or business now a full-time thing for you, you need to make sure to transition the right time. When would the transition of the right time be? It would one idea would be, hey, when that side hustle of yours starts bringing the paper that you're making with your main hustle, which is this is what I mean by that. Like, if you're making 1,500 in your job in a whole month, but now every weekend you're selling out couches, or you're selling shirts, or you're doing some kind of a service or whatever, and that's now starting to level up. That now that if you would just take that time off working your main hustle, will actually make you more money. That would be one of the times to transition. It's very important, but this is the many mistakes that many people do. They see a couple dollars coming in, they go all in, and they realize, wait, I actually can't, because I still got to pay some debts. I still got to pay the startup costs. I still got to pay, and it's better to, and you give time for your business to grow and develop healthily when you start transitioning, making the choice to transition at the right time. And that starts by putting down your finances. Okay, how much do I need to make on my side hustle for me to cover my cost of living, and make it, and so that you're not stressing about just surviving, but you can actually innovate in the business, because it's very hard to innovate when you're just trying to survive. Like, yeah, we make things out of need, but not out of creativity. And that's one thing, when we make things out of creativity, beautiful things are born. Businesses are taken to the next level. And that's one thing that I believe, that as believers, that we have to always be in a position to plan accordingly, and that's something that the Bible teaches. In fact, Jesus teaches us this in a principle in a Bible story, where we see him sharing about building a tower. But there was a man who built a tower, but he didn't have enough money to finish the tower, because he spent it on, or he didn't calculate right. And that's the thing, because you didn't calculate right when it came to transitioning into full-time to your side hustle. You now have to go back to your main hustle and look like a fool to everybody who said that you were going to get rich.
As you were saying, that reminded me of a story of whenever Nehemiah was starting to go help, I think it was in Jerusalem, to help out his city. And he asked the king that was at the time, hey, I want to go help out over there. And he was the cupbearer to the king. And the king said, you know what, I'm going to give you what you need, everything that you need to survive. And as soon as that happened, he now left.
Yeah.
He left to where he was called to go to help out his city. And I think whenever we are given all those resources that we need to, we built our side hustle to becoming now a full-time job, then that's whenever we can say, you know what, I am safe here. My bills are covered. Everything that I need to survive is done. That's whenever I'll transition and I can focus on that. If our channel is bringing value to you, be sure to subscribe, because we have a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. So be part of that movement. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment in our videos, and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified every single time we post.